Max Verstappen. Christian Horner explains what Red Bull cannot do to F1 star, that is according to Red Bull chief Christian Horner, who says doing so would take away from the driver's performances. Is widely regarded as one of F1's hottest prospects alongside Sebastian Vettel's new Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc. But he has also forged a reputation for recklessness, due to his ruthless approach to battling his rivals. Verstappen is known to have a temper, too, just as he showed when he clashed with Esteban Ocon at last year's Brazilian Grand Prix. Those fracas in Parc Fermé Interlagos saw the 21-year-old handed a 2-day public service penalty, which he has now completed. First up, Verstappen observed the work of stewards at last month's Formula E round in Marrakesh. Then on Saturday he finished the punishment by attending the FIA International Stewards Program in Geneva. Horner reckons the penalty will be a positive experience for Verstappen ahead of the upcoming season. However, he insists Red Bull cannot make the Dutchman more reserved when it comes to his on-track exploits. "I think it was good practice for him to see what happens on the other side of the fence," Horner said. Verstappen's determined approach distinguishes him and makes him the exciting driver he is. If you talked him out of that, he would not be Max Verstappen anymore. He would not make for the same headlines and create the same interest anymore. He just wants to drive as hard as possible on each lap. He is not a big fan of tests, he would much rather race. Verstappen will be looking to make a winning start to the 2019 F1 campaign at the next months in Melbourne. Verstappen, though, has admitted Ferrari and Mercedes are likely to be quicker than Red Bull at the start of the season. "It is a new start with Honda, everyone is very motivated," Verstappen said. "We all look forward to the new season. I don't think we will match Ferrari and Mercedes straight away in terms of power, but Honda is giving everything to get there as quickly as possible. The team has lots of positive energy. You can see the drive to win. I believe it now works from both sides, from the team and the engine supplier." Next news, Max Verstappen, Red Bull ace speaks out after second part of Esteban Ocon clash punishment. Verstappen received a 2-day public service penalty for his part in a post-race coming together with Ocon at Interlagos back in November. The 21-year-old took issue with the Frenchman in Parc Fermé after his Red Bull had been punted off the track by Ocon's Force India. And he was caught on camera pushing Ocon, actions which received a mixed reception given as hopes of winning in Brazil were ruined by the earlier incident. Verstappen served the first day of his sanction at January's Formula E round in Marrakesh, observing the work of the panel of stewards at the race. And on Saturday he completed the punishment by attending the in Geneva. Former Toro Rosso driver Verstappen took part in a range of interactive case study sessions in the Swiss city. Those sessions entailed considering incidents, discussing them with stewards and then choosing an appropriate course of action. Verstappen was also part of the competitors' panel discussion with 3-time World Touring Car Champion Andy Priaulx, M Sport boss Richard Milliner and BMW Motorsport chief Jens Marquardt. Verstappen was one of more than 200 representatives who attended the 3-day FIA event in Geneva. And he reflected on a positive experience as he gained a greater understanding of the decisions stewards make. "We are doing our job on the track, trying to get the best out of the race. And it's clear that the stewards are doing their job to find the best way to reach a fair decision," Verstappen said. "It's been a good lesson for me and I've learned a lot, both in my day in Marrakesh, which I really enjoyed and which gave me a good understanding of the stewards, and now here I think it's also good to be a part of this event." Formula E driver Sam Bird, however, was not happy when Verstappen was made to attend January's race in Marrakesh. "I didn't see him, it's nice that he's here," Bird said. "But, I mean, to call coming to a Formula E race community service I think does Formula E a bit of a disjustice. This is an amazing category, and people pay to come and watch us, it shouldn't be a punishment to come here." I hope he enjoyed it, and I hope he will give good feedback to some of his colleagues. Verstappen will be eager to avoid a repeat of his two-day punishment during the course of the 2019 season. The Red Bull driver is gearing up for the first race of the campaign in Melbourne next month. And he will be eager to use the Albert Park circuit meet to lay down a marker for the year ahead. Next news, Daniel Ricciardo news. What does Ricciardo really think about Ferrari and Mercedes snub? Daniel Ricciardo has revealed his frustrations at being snubbed by Ferrari and Mercedes ahead of the 2019 season. The Australian star was set to leave Red Bull at the end of the 2018 with the prospect of teaming up with Lewis Hamilton or Sebastian Vettel and their respective teams on the cards. However, Ricciardo was overlooked by Mercedes as they renewed Valtteri Bottas' partnership with Hamilton. Charles Leclerc was snapped up by Ferrari, leaving Ricciardo to sign for Renault. The French team are yet to find their feet in the sport since returning to action in 2016. Renault was a shock move for Ricciardo, who opted to end his 10-year spell with Red Bull despite winning 2 of the opening 6 races in 2018. He will be raring to go with a point to prove when the 2019 season comes around, after revealing his true thoughts on the Ferrari and Mercedes snubs. Express Sport has rounded up Daniel Ricciardo's comments on the move to Renault and being snubbed for a bigger move. What does Daniel Ricciardo think about Mercedes and Ferrari snubs? Sky F1 reporter Natalie Pinkham spoke to Ricciardo on her In the Pink podcast. When asked whether he was frustrated at failing to land a move to the top 2 constructors, he replied, "Yes," to answer it bluntly. "At the end of the day, in the next 12 months I still think, and everybody would say this, that Mercedes and Ferrari are going to be the teams to beat. I won 2 out of 6, so it was Seb, Vettel, Lewis and me who had won 2 each. At that stage no one else was really touching us. I felt like my pull, so to speak, couldn't have been any higher. In a way, I did expect probably more out of that, and at the time I think rightly so." He added, "With what Ferrari have done, I see it and I respect that because I've seen Red Bull do it, bringing the young kids through the program. In a way, I think it's about time. I guess the Mercedes one is probably a bit of a different situation. It's a slightly different dynamic with the path they've chosen. I guess for them it's more conservative, but I can't argue because it's worked." F1 Calendar 2019-1. Australian Grand Prix, Melbourne, 17 March 2nd. Bahrain Grand Prix, Sakir, 31 March 3rd. Chinese Grand Prix, Shanghai, 14 April 4th. Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Baku, 28 April 5th. Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona, 12 May 6th. Monaco Grand Prix, Monte Carlo, 26 May 7th. Canadian Grand Prix, Montreal, 9 June 8th. French Grand Prix, Le Castellet, 23 June 9th. Austrian Grand Prix, Spielberg, 30 June 10th. British Grand Prix, Silverstone, 14 July 11. German Grand Prix, Hockenheim, 28 July 12th. Hungarian Grand Prix, Hungaroring, 4 August 13th. Belgian Grand Prix, Spa, 1 September 14th. Italian Grand Prix, Monza, 8 September 15th. Singapore Grand Prix, Singapore, 22 September 16th. Russian Grand Prix, Sochi, 29 September 17th. Japanese Grand Prix, Suzuka, 13 October 18th. Mexican Grand Prix, Mexico City, 27 October 19th. United States Grand Prix, Austin, 3 November 20th. Brazilian Grand Prix, Sao Paulo, 17 November 21st. Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Abu Dhabi, 1 December.